It's a cold, dark, snowy night here in Fort Wayne, and the weather has put a freeze on the start of Fort Wayne FC's spring training camp, at least for another day. But that hasn't stopped news coming out of the front office with some more major signings this week, including a goalkeeper, but not the goalkeeper many of us expected. We'll talk about that. We'll speculate about a potential starting lineup for the club, and we will have a chat about some news coming out of the Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame. All that and more right after this. This episode of Fort Wayne Footy is brought to you by OmniSource, one of America's largest processors, distributors, and managers of scrap and secondary metals based right here in Fort Wayne. Check out their services at omnisource.com. Fort Wayne Footy is also brought to you by LaserX, the Midwest's largest laser tag and arcade. They specialize in birthday parties, corporate team building, youth groups, sports teams, and family entertainment. You can find them at laserxfw.com. That's laser with a Z. And if you get over there, be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Fort Wayne Footy. I hope you're all warm and cozy, tucked in inside, and not out on the roads like some of us were today. It's been a fun ride for Fort Wayne Footy here, and we've got some new stuff to share with you tonight. If you missed our Wednesday show, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We've got some new signings to talk about, and some rumors perhaps to get into a little bit later, and all sorts of fun stuff. Welcome to the show. My name's Brian, hosting the show here with Dustin, and a couple of new faces tonight. Sean Black and Anthony Anzini are joining us officially here on Fort Wayne Footy tonight. How are you guys tonight? Sean, I know you popped in on Wednesday to our show. Got to talk a little bit. Welcome to Fort Wayne Footy, man.
Oh, thanks. I was just so excited to be here and be with like-minded people talking about soccer, whether it's, the youth game or the pro team. So just really thrilled to be able to have conversations and people tuning in. So, yeah.
Yep. And if you remember, Sean joined us during our youth development series to talk about the younger ages as they transition from the, I think U10, U11 to more of a bigger field and things. And so Sean was on that one. Be sure to check that out if you're interested in youth development. That was a great series. And Anthony Anzini is joining us, head coach at Bishop Luers, also coach at Fort Wayne Sport Club. Been around the soccer game here in Fort Wayne for quite a long time. Anthony, welcome to Fort Wayne Footy officially.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brian. It means a lot. I'm happy to be here with Sean and Dustin. It should be a good time.
And we've had a few conversations since Wednesday. Anthony and I talked about joining the show, and Anthony's on fire, man. Like, he's got all kinds of ideas. And so you see anything new this year, it might be coming from that brain sitting on top of Anthony's shoulders there.
Oh boy, we'll see.
No, we've got a lot of fun stuff to get to tonight. We do have some folks in the chat tonight. I want to get to that. Christina says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope we're all staying safe today." Absolutely. Jason is in the chat. Jason showed up as our photographer on Wednesday night, which was a lot of fun. If you got to see any of the pictures, there's more coming on our social media. Jason was the guy that took all those. Thank you, Jason, for showing up and doing that. Ryan says, hello, loving the new look. If you missed it, we have a new look. Fort Wayne Footy, new colors, new brand, all of that we'll talk about later in the show. And yes, Matt, we do have new logo hats. We will post the link a little bit later if you're interested on our new Fort Wayne Footy store. So Justin Blair also, hey man, joining us from Cincinnati. From Cincinnati Soccer Talk, Justin Blair.
That's a blast from the past. He was on early on.
He was, yeah. Still, he's a fan of lower league soccer, and so he's, following Fort Wayne through us, Fort Wayne FC. So, and Jared, hey man, first time listener. Thank you for joining us. Excited to be here and excited for the season. We are too, man. Thanks for joining us tonight for the show. And we're going to kick off the show tonight with some quick news stories coming out of soccer in the local area. And we'll talk more about each of these later. We're not going to get too deep into these, but if you guys have thoughts, comments, feel free to chime in. We do have a new signing. A goalkeeper signing. Burn Shipman signed with Fort Wayne FC. His name was not Ari Briscoe, which everyone kind of expected to be the first goalkeeper signing. And so, any thoughts on that before we get too far? I know it's just quick hits, but
I will say I watched some of his highlight reels from USL 1 play over the last couple seasons. Dude's a beast. I'm excited to have him on the team. He's ballsy. He'll come out of the box and attack. So I like it. I'm excited about that. Not throwing any shade at Ari because I want Ari as well. So, but yeah, I would say if we're gonna have somebody that we're gonna sign, he's a good signing. From a keeper perspective, he's got quite a few shutouts too in USL 1 in his career. So,
yeah, for sure.
I saw that.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, experience at goalkeeper. I know Coach Avery was saying that they want to have a young team, but seeing a 31-year-old goalkeeper come in with 33 shutouts, like Dustin said, in USL 1, that's awesome. That's experience.
Yeah. In this position, we'll talk more about it later. It's a position where you need somebody that has some experience in leadership for sure. Not that Ari doesn't. And if Ari signs with the team, I assume maybe not. I don't know. But you need somebody with some experience back there too. So and you can't roll with just one goalkeeper. Anybody ever had that in your career on your team? One goalkeeper that goes down, gets hurt, and then you're stuck. We heard that last week from Michael.
I was gonna say he just talked about it last week and how he had to play one time.
That's right. So if you are out there and you are listening, you are a new signee with Fort Wayne FC. Just don't tell Coach Avery you ever played in the goal, because sometimes
you'll play. You might
get called on if we get an injury. All right, moving on to some of these other quick hits here. Signings since we last spoke last Sunday. Assistant coach Keelan Barker from Indiana Tech has re-signed with the team. Teg Healy is a midfielder, has just had a phenomenal run in the last 2 years with goals in both the USL 2 championship last year and a goal to send it to extra time in the NCAA final this year is coming to Fort Wayne. So we're excited for him. Jeremy Garay, I think maybe is how you say that. I haven't looked that up quite yet. Jeremy Garay, midfielder, was with the DC United Academy, played for El Salvador national team. And then Burn Shipman in the goal that we talked about, a 31-year-old veteran, standout goalkeeper. Excited to have him. You know what we don't have yet? Dustin, you're the one that always asks this question. What don't we have yet?
The kit. Yeah, we can. Now, I will say we asked if it's going to be coming out, and we were met with we'll see. But I will say a little birdie says it is there. It's there.
Okay.
It's there. It's been seen. We just haven't seen it yet.
Okay. And so let's clarify. Of course, the kit is coming out. That's not new. They have to wear a kit to play, Dustin. You're like,
no. I'm saying it's there. It's designed.
Okay.
It's already out there. People that are big in the team, I'm not going to say names, have already said they've seen it. But it's just we have not seen it yet.
We have not seen it.
No.
Do you guys follow, Sean? Do you follow kit drops at all? Like MLS has been releasing a lot of kits here recently. Do you follow that? Do you guys get excited about it like I do?
To some degree, I get more hype about the player transfers for me. But just to echo some of these things, I'm really excited. Coach Keelan got signed. Indiana Tech has done really well, and just been around him briefly. Like his energy is really contagious, and so and I'm excited for Jeremy signing. Just looking at his caps and his experiences for such a young player, super excited. But I get a little hype for kit drops.
Anthony, how do you feel about kit drops?
I don't follow them, but when they pop up on my social media, I'm excited to see them. But I mean, for this one, obviously, it's going to be pretty sweet because it's Fort Wayne. But I've never been this close to a professional team, so it's Fort Wayne. I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we've been looking forward to it for months now. Since before Christmas, we started talking about this. Maybe a kit for Christmas, but haven't gotten it yet. Let's see. Justin just put something in the chat here. Let's go on record. How many years will have needed to pass for USL 2 kits to be a legacy or a retro kit? I mean,
it's probably already retro, right? Like,
yeah, but I mean, I think he's talking about, do you bring them back as a legacy kit?
Oh, for
a third kit or something, like for a special game, for like a USL Cup game. Man, I don't know. I think there's a lot of like history with Fort Wayne FC just in these last 4 or 5 years that they've been in existence with different ownership groups and different colors. So I don't know, man, if it'll come back as a legacy kit or not. We'll see. I would say
at least 5 years. Oh yeah. At least 5 years. It's got to be 5 years.
It'd be kind of sweet if they could flip the new color scheme onto the old ones. If they're trying to do it quicker than 5, that'd be kind of sweet.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Jared says between my season tickets hitting my account and the kit dropping, I don't know what I'm more excited for. Like, yeah, no doubt, man. I have a gift certificate that I got for Christmas that I'm waiting to spend on the kit when it comes out. So it's just sitting here on my desk waiting to be spent. So anyway, well, hey, we've got some news out of the Summit City Sentinels, the indoor team that plays up there at Classic City Center in Waterloo, Indiana. Brought home it was a close one, but another loss this last weekend, 8-6 in a hard fought match against the Chicago Mustangs that, from what I understand, Paul and I have been live streaming these games, and so we get some news from folks in the league of these other teams I don't follow as much as I do the Sentinels here in town. But I think Chicago's coming off of 5 red cards in their last 2 games, and so they came into Fort Wayne or came into Waterloo, and we were like, oh boy, this is going to be a battle. And sure enough, it was. I think there was 1 red card in the match, if I remember correctly. But it was a battle. 8-6. Chicago takes the victory there. And you'll have to excuse me. I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning without a voice, and so at least I got my voice back for the show. But now I've got a terrible cough. So if I go mute, that's why. Sean, just pick up and
just start running with it
or something.
Run with it.
Were you at that game, Brian, the Chicago match?
I was, yeah. Paul and I were live streaming, so I was actually. It's an indoor match, right? And so Paul's standing on a box with his camera filming, and I'm behind the wall running the production side of it. And so I don't get to see the game except for a little monitor on my screen.
Oh wow!
But we got to get we're running replays, we're running the scoreboard online, and the timer and all that. So running the production side. So no, it's kind of weird being in a game and not being able to actually see the game, but that's how production goes at that level. So been at all their home games so far. They do have an extension, MLS Extension League is what it's called. It's second teams and others that are playing. They also played to the tune of let's see, I forget the final score of that one actually. My son was playing in that one. Lost to United North out of Goshen, Elkhart area. And then 1927, SC out of Fort Wayne Sport Club is playing in that league as well. And they brought home a 10-5 victory over FC Indiana out of Lafayette. And then the women's game, they're supposed to be playing right now. Like, final whistle should be blowing right now, but they canceled that game because of the weather. And so they'll have to make that one up against the Chicago Mustangs. All right. Well, that'll do it for our quick hits. We're going to get into some other news a little bit later on news out of the Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame with some names that many of you listening may recognize being nominated inducted into the Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame this year. Guys, let's talk about this roster build. Fort Wayne FC. We have 9 players now on the roster that we are aware of. Anyway, 9 that have been announced. Others that are rumored to potentially be in town, maybe not haven't signed. And others that obviously they have a full roster at this point. Preseason starts Tuesday. It was supposed to start tomorrow. It starts Tuesday. So they have a team. We just don't know who they all are, but we do know many of the guys are in town now. They're here for physicals and training. They've Fort Wayne FC has posted some images with the guys. I don't know if you guys like, I'm a kind of a sleuth when it comes to this. I'm looking, right? And so the guys they've signed are clearly in the pictures. There's some guys in the back that are kind of blurred out with that little bokeh effect with their camera, that I don't know if those are guys that we know that have already signed, or guys that they just haven't signed that we can't see in pictures yet. So, but we do, here's what we know. I'll just run through this list, and you guys, we'll get into maybe high impact players this year, right? We've got Burn Shipman in the goal. That's the newest signing. We just talked about him a little bit. Thiago Diaz was the first signing, center back. We have Reed Sproat, also center back. We have Michael Rempel that we talked to last week out of Paraguay as a fullback, left back. Anthony Hernandez was announced just before that, plays on the right side, also as fullback, right back, wing back. JP Jordan playing in the midfield there, defensive mid, a 6, maybe an 8. We'll talk about lineups here in a minute. We have Javier Armas, who's also a defensive mid. We have Tag Healy that we talked just a moment ago about as a central midfielder, attacking midfielder mostly. And then Jeremy Garay is also a midfield. And I have not, again, I think I read that he was a defensive mid, but I'm not for certain on that. As you guys, I know some of you have watched some highlights, looked at some stats, all of that. Which of these players are you looking forward to seeing the most out on the field at Fort Wayne FC Park this year?
So I put my 2 cents in there, but my 2 cents are just because I'm excited to see all the new players. I'm excited to see how they kind of come in and they play together as a team, but I'm also excited to see how these guys who've been on the team for the last couple of years then step up into the team. And so I've talked about it before. I love Thiago. I love how he plays. I love watching Reed Sproat play as well. I love how he's aggressive. I love the aggressiveness that he brings to the pitch. And I've seen him in some of his off-season training. And so I'm excited to see how that translates out onto the pitch. So I want to see how Reed steps in. I want to see how Reed and Thiago continue to play together like they did this last year. But I'm excited to see the rest of the boys that are coming in from other teams bring in that experience as well. But I just, for some reason, these guys that have been signed that were on the team previously, to see them step into the professional ranks, it makes me excited to see how they step up, how they take on leadership responsibilities and learn from the guys that have been in the league for a few years as well. So that's kind of my take on it.
I'm excited to watch Healy play. I mean, he's a big-time player that's come up in big-time moments. I'm excited to watch the pace of play. I'm an attack-minded. I love watching attack, and obviously he's bringing it, and he's not scared of big moments. You know, I know he had success in the USL too, and obviously NCAA. So I'm excited to watch what that looks like in person with that pace, and just to watch him grow. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really like who we interviewed, or who you guys interviewed on Wednesday, Michael. And I just love watching, I love watching fullbacks because I think they're just so a part of the game, both offensively and defensively. And listening to him speak about how he loves to get up the field. So if, coach is going to give him that freedom and, let him attack up the wing and on the opposite side, try to lock up some of the best attacking players that they're going to play in their division or their conference. And, just me being an outside player for basically my whole career, I just, kind of tend to really, really gravitate towards those positions. So I'm excited to see Michael play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to look back at Michael's, like the formation they played at Lindsey Wilson, where he came from. Cause he talks about getting high up the field, which seems to fit a wingback system, like a 5-back system where your wingback is going to get up the field. They're going to play streaky like that. And then he talked about playing left center back as well. which you got to stay home a little bit more often in that position. So it'll be interesting. I want to talk formation here in just a moment. We're not going to get there yet. But if the formation that we think Fort Wayne FC may play this year, based on the players that they've talked about and what we know historically of what Coach Avery has put out on the field, if they'll play a wing-back system or if they'll play like a 4-back and still get that outside back up the field, or not, if that happens, right? Like the winger's going to have to pinch in a little bit more. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. I'm excited to see this midfield come together. Guys like JP Jordan, man, I watched some film on him early on, and we talked about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago on the show when they announced his signing. He is a guy that's going to win the ball. He is aggressive. He's a bulldog back there, and actually, like that's the word like I use to describe that. But we talked to Coach Avery on Wednesday night, and he's a self-proclaimed dog is what he said. This is who I am, and Coach Avery really appreciated that. He says it's a kid that knows who he is and what he does well, and he leans into it. And so to have players that know their strength and where they fit within a team, within a system, I think is really exciting for me. So JP Jordan, and the other one I'm really excited about, the new guy, Jeremy Duray, that his background with the academy at DC United, and then some time with the El Salvador national team. I think he's played in 3 international matches there. So yes, Dwayne.
I almost
Dwayne's
said the exact same thing.
Brian
not JP Morgan.
This time. It's not JP Morgan. It's JP Jordan. I will never ever live that down, and I shouldn't. So, well done there, Dwayne, for calling me out on that. We did ask this question on social media today. We did get a few responses. Mark McDade is a player, striker, midfielder at Indiana Tech. Says Tiago. He is most excited and thinks Tiago is going to make the greatest impact. And I think, maybe a little Homer situation there. He did play with Tiago at Tech, but no, I can't disagree. That's a solid choice there, Mark, that Tiago would be a great player. And then we had James Rempel saying Michael Rempel is going to be the one that's going to make the biggest difference. So that was a fun one last week with James and Michael,
his brother,
in the chat, talking it up back and forth and talking a little trash, giving us a little insight into Michael's history. If you missed that, go back and check that one out.
Yeah.
Guys, let's talk about formation a little bit. We've got these players. I want to speculate, and let me just be clear. This is total speculation. Just because these players have been named first does not mean these players are starters on this squad. They very well may be. They may not be. I don't know. We only know 9 players and 11 start. So we're going to speculate with these 9 where they would play on the field, and then I'll show my what I think.
Your fancy little.
Look at this.
Graphic.
Yeah. So we got some graphics. If you are listening later in the week, make sure you go back and check out the show on YouTube and see some of the cool graphics we got going on here. So we've got a starting lineup here, and you guys tell me what you think as I go. We'll start at the back. We have Shipman in the goal. I mean, he's the only goal. Yeah, I was like, he's the only one. We could switch that for Rempel. Maybe we'll put Rempel in the goal temporarily. But excuse me, no, we've got Rempel playing left back. That's where he kind of his natural position. Says he also plays left center back. But that's where Thiago Diaz plays. There's the left center back, and Reed Sproat as the right center back. And then we have Anthony Hernandez out there on the right side. At least it's where he's been playing the last year at Fort Wayne FC when he was with us, right? The midfield guys, this is where it gets a little tricky for me, right? Because we've signed several midfielders, and so the 2 that we know are defensive mids. We talked about them, JP Jordan and Armas. Javier Armas is a deep lying midfielder. He's a 6, distributes from the back very well from what we've heard and what we've seen. But we also have Jure, Jeremy Jure, who, again, I believe might be a defensive mid. Don't quote me on that because I might be wrong. Maybe he's a very high attacking player and I just read something wrong. And then we have Tag Healy that is an attacking midfielder as well. But in this formation, guys, we have one attacking mid and we don't have Healy in it. Coach Avery did say in the press release that Healy's a guy that can play in several different spaces in the attacking third. He's a very attack-minded player. And so for the sake of this lineup and formation, I shifted him out to the wing and put Jure there in the middle. What do you guys think of this lineup? Any changes you would make? Total speculation. And then I want to talk formation a little bit.
I mean, it's hard to make changes because it's kind of like their positions. You know what I mean? We have 9 guys, and that's kind of their positions. I feel like as the roster builds and we have more guys, then we'll be able to say, oh, you know what? I would probably play this over, this guy over this guy in this position. But I mean, I feel like it makes the most sense as to what we have right now.
Yeah. So let's talk formation then. 4-3-3. I believe is formation that we've seen Fort Wayne FC play. 4 at the back, 3 midfield, and 3 attacking players. Now that can shift a little bit, maybe to a 4-2-3-1 with 1 striker, 3 midfielders, and then 2 defensive mids. So I think that formation you can kind of talk about a couple different ways, and maybe it shifts when you're attacking versus when you're defending. I'm going to ask our coaches here, Sean and Anthony, talk to us about the 4-3-3 formation and the advantages that it plays for a team that we heard Coach Avery talk about on Wednesday night, wants to play very possession-minded team. They want to hold on to the ball, be patient with it, and go forward when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. I'll go first, like you said, with Coach Avery. I mean, like you said, the width, being patient, as long as your midfield is active, connecting the triangles, and just you're moving the ball, you're just waiting for that defense to take that, the attacking team to take that one step in on you. Then when you break them, you can go, you stay wide. If everybody stays disciplined, you can get them from both sides. And like Sean said earlier, we're talking about outside backs overlapping. I mean, 4-3-3, let's go. You start switching that field, and that outside back can get in all day. I love it. That's what we do at Lures. At much different level here, but we try to do the same thing, possess, and once we see you make a mistake, we're going to go. So I love it. I think the overlaps, staying patient and just staying wide, they should be all right.
Sean, anything to add there?
I just think there's like, it's kind of twofold where a coach has a specific style that he wants to play or has, philosophies that he wants to play. And then formation can adjust, but your style and your philosophy is going to, stay the same. So whether you're in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or even a 3-5-2, how those roles and responsibilities change, but then your philosophy and the style of play probably look similar, just playing some players in some different positions. And the thing about a 4-3-3 is it's, again, very flexible. Let's say we're going to send, in possession, we're going to send Rempel higher up the field, and then that left winger is going to tuck in. And then all of a sudden it looks like 3 in the back, and you've got 4 in the middle, and you've got Healy on the outside and Rempel on the outside, or you stick a second striker up there. So there's some flexibility that you can play with that in and out of possession. Front 3, if you're going to press a back 4, you might have a little bit more success as opposed to just having 2 attackers up there. You have 3, give yourself an extra number. So again, you kind of adapt, your systems, your philosophies with the players that you have, and the 4-3-3 allow flexibility. So man, can be a lot of fun as a coach tactically. So
and to piggyback real quick on what Sean said too, sorry, Brian, but yeah, if we can get that 9 coming in too, I mean, if you are active while you're possessing, as long as you are active up there, like Sean's saying, and then you have people making the runs and then checking in, I mean, it can be one of the most fun ones to watch. I mean, especially if we're trying to get down the field, possessing our end when we need to, get it to their half. And then you can still, like Sean said, if we have 3 in the back, as it goes with the overlaps, we're possessing now in their half. And now if we're still staying dynamic, still staying creative, it's fun. It's dangerous. It's a lot of,
Now, when you have a guy like Rempel pushing high in this formation, right? If that's how it works, and he pushes high on the left side, we've talked about JP Jordan, we've talked about Javier Armas being really strong defensive midfielders, and so it seems like even if that space opens up and you have three in the back, that one of those two guys is going to drop deeper, fill a gap maybe in the central defensive line, as maybe Thiago shifts over, or maybe Jordan shifts over to that left to cover there. And you still have strong defensive players back there that are going to win the ball. They're quick. And again, Jordan, from what I've seen, is a guy that likes to turn quickly and go forward fast. And so we've heard good things about Armas as well in that position. So I think it does give you that flexibility in the 4-3-3. Dustin, any thoughts on formation here?
No, I'm excited. Honestly, I think the fact that after talking to Rempel last week and talking about how he likes to push up, the opportunity that presents for the team. I know we have a lot of people in the comments saying we need strikers, we need strikers, we need strikers, because we do, and obviously they're coming. It's not like we're just going to sign an entire defensive team, but it's fun to hear these guys that do like to push up, because I feel like that's the new way of playing soccer over the last 10, 15 years. It used to be that you just kind of sat back and defensive players weren't really making it that far up. So I'm excited to see what Rempel does. I think, again, like you said, Sean, with listening to him talk last week about how much fun he has and how much he likes to push up and be up in the a little bit further. I'm excited to see what that looks like with this team. Diaz likes to get up too. We saw it last year on the team. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I think having Jordan and Armas as defensive players as well to drop in when those other guys do push up. I think we have a pretty strong back line that can kind of shift in and out. And so it'll be interesting to see how that takes shape as we do see more signings of strikers and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah. So let's point out a couple things, right? Rempel getting high. We talked about that. Don't count Hernandez out either. He was a player that got up the field, and half the time last year as I'm watching him play, I forgot he was the right back because he was so high up the field playing the midfield that he gets up there as well. Diaz, definitely tall player, good in the air. I think 4th leading scorer all time at Fort Wayne FC as a center back, scoring off set pieces and crosses. And so we do have attacking-minded defenders who are solid defenders, but that can get forward and do like getting forward to do that. And so I want to get back to the striker conversation in just a moment. So let's get to our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk about these strikers.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Dead One Pest Control. If you've been looking for a local pest control service in Fort Wayne and surrounding communities, look no further than Dead One Pest Control. They work with both residential and commercial clients to get rid of all types of pests, including those dreaded bed bugs. No job is too big or small for them to handle, so you can count on their capable crew for whatever local pest control service you need. Reach out today to schedule an appointment at deadonepestcontrol.com. And remember, the only good pest is a dead one. And if you're looking for tree service of any kind, including removal, trimming, stump grinding, or landscaping, check out R&T Tree Experts. They work year-round, even through these cold winter months, so you don't have to wait for spring. Just visit their website, fill out their estimate request form, and be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you to receive 10% off your service.
All right. Just enough time to finish my coughing fit there. Thank you very much, sponsors. All right, I'm going to take this graphic off the screen. Just let's get it burned into our minds, like what it looks like, who's where, and all of that. And if you're listening, like I said, later in the week, be sure to check out the YouTube channel, Fort Wayne Footy on YouTube, and you can look at all the graphics and know what we're talking about there. So let's talk about these forwards, these strikers, these wingers that we don't know who they are quite yet. Dustin, I know we went to several games together last year, and it may not be the same strikers, but what was the profile of the strikers and the wingers from your recollection that Avery had playing with this team last year?
So, I mean, specific ones that stick out, smaller guys, excellent foot skills, but super fast. Read the game really, really well. And so as I think through it, I mean, I think back to how many goals that I saw Thiago score from, like, I'm just like, as I'm like thinking back,
Right.
it was a lot. We saw a lot last year. But I remember the the wingers and the strikers just being, watching them play was amazing. I mean, they read the field like no other, and they were making passes and connecting passes like crazy, super attacking, also very, very aggressive. I think Avery likes aggressive players. I think he likes aggressive play. And so when I think of what these guys that they're going to sign are going to be like, I think they're going to be, as he would say, dogs, but more so like, I don't know, weaving in and out, making passes, keeping the defense on their heels. And yeah, I just remember a lot of quickness, and I think we beat a lot of teams because of the quickness that we had. And so that's kind of what I saw last year. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar as far as what his tactic is this year. So I'm excited to see if there's any old guys coming back in those positions. I have a few in mind that I'd like to see, but yeah, so he likes it aggressive and he likes it quick. And so I would imagine that's kind of what it's going to look and how it's going to take shape this next year.
Yeah. Sean, Anthony, any thoughts on potential speedy guys with good ball skills? Like who fits the system in your minds? Maybe not specific players, but what type of player fits a 4-3-3 system based on what we've seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you obviously want those outside players who are really good in 1v1 situations, not unafraid to take someone on, even if they, fail their first, few goes within the match, but always carrying that confidence that they can, take someone on 1v1 and try to get round and collapse a back line. So I think you naturally want some players, in the outside spaces who can do those types of things. Probably wouldn't mind a couple different types of number 9s, right? Maybe someone who can make runs in between a couple defenders, but maybe also someone who's just like, big and can box out and can win stuff in the air. And so you give yourselves a couple different type of looks, just depending on match situations or who you're playing. So, he's probably looking for a little bit of flexibility or different types of attackers, within his signings would be my guess.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think what Sean said there, the key word for me was confidence. I mean, look, it's not going to work every time, but if I'm attacking somebody 1v1, if I have a winger that's attacking, I want you thinking you're beating them every time. Like you're going in with confidence, you're playing that ball, and whoever you're playing that ball to is going to finish every single time in your head. And just if you are a dynamic player outside, you can, again, the foot skills, the 1v1, but like Justin said, we weren't the biggest, out there. Size does help. I mean, it's huge. And if we can get a big 9, I mean, that would be amazing. Like Sean said, we can start playing with that. Let's go. But to everybody else saying, hey, we want some strikers, every team wants a striker. So, I mean, it's not like they're just falling out of the trees here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think you made a good point there, Sean. A couple different types of strikers, some flexibility, some guys that can break lines, can run in between the lines. You need somebody fast, but in this system with our wingers, our outside attacking players, and then our defenders that can get high, you're looking for guys that can cross a good ball in too, right? And so to get on the end of a good cross, a lot of times you're looking for a bigger, taller, stronger striker that may not be the guy. It may be, but it may not be the same guy that's running through lines on that back line, but can get on the end of a back post header or back post cross to get on there. So Mo Salah available soon. Potentially.
I saw that comment
about that. So, Yeah, so we're looking forward to some striker signings. It's been about this cadence of like 3 strikers a week or so, or 3 signings a week. And so I anticipate this week that we'll start hearing some more as the guys get into preseason. They get their legs under them. It may be a couple days before the planes land here in Fort Wayne with all the snow and ice and everything that we're having right now. So we may not see a full team for a couple days, but we're excited to get everybody here and learn who these guys are going to
Now,
be.
Brian, in your sleuthing, did you see any of in the blurred out pictures that you saw any shorter, maybe redhead players that were back there, or no?
Who are you alluding to?
I mean,
No,
there was only one short redhead player that played for Fort Wayne FC last year.
No, I didn't, but like I said, it's hard to tell. Some guys in the back that are blurred out, and so maybe hang out around some of their training facilities wherever those happen to be, and maybe you see somebody come in and out. I don't know. I've not done that amount of sleuthing. You know, just when somebody posts something on,
I was gonna say,
on Instagram that shows they're in Fort Wayne, it was an interesting one last night. I'll let you figure that out. Those of you who may be listening tonight. So let's get into some Fort Wayne Footy talk here. I don't want to get too much into this and talking about ourselves, but we do want to highlight that we have some new branding, we have some new faces, and we have some new things happening with the show. Wednesday night, we had a live event. If you have not seen it, be sure to check out. It's a YouTube exclusive. We're not releasing it as a podcast, but it is available on YouTube. A live show we did at Two Toms Brewing Company on Wells Street here in Fort Wayne. As it started out, guys, as a, hey, let's get our podcast team together and say thanks for the year. And then it turned into, you know what? We need to thank our sponsors. Let's bring our sponsors in and just have a night with the team at Dead One Pest and R&T Trees and everyone, FW22 and Summit City Climbing Company and Omnisource and LaserX, everybody that supported us this year, and then our Patreon supporters. Let's get together and have a night to say thanks. And then it turned into, guys, we've got some new things coming. Let's just do a whole live show with them there and introduce our new folks, our new brand, and all of that. So if you were not able to be there, obviously, because it was a limited capacity and limited invite event, the live show is on YouTube. Go back and check that out. But the 3 of you were there. Share some of your thoughts on the night.
Well, first of all, I want to shout out Two Toms. I think that they were amazing as for hosting it for us. I've been involved with them for the last couple of years. They've always been extremely hospitable. I can't speak highly enough of them. And then it was just cool to have all of our sponsors that have been a part of it since we started there sitting together in the same room. Just everyone that has support for us, support for what we're doing, and just feeling like, for me, it felt like the community was actually excited about what's happening in Fort Wayne from a soccer perspective. So that was super exciting. I think having Coach on, it was a last minute ad, came in for who Keelan was supposed to be there, and then Coach Avery ended up coming in, and having him come in and him just be completely open and transparent about what he's looking for, what he's seeing in the team, and having conversations with us on a sidebar afterwards about the team and all that kind of stuff. It's exciting, for one, that we have this team coming to the city. It's exciting that we have the stadium coming, but then it's exciting to see all of the people that, Anthony, Sean, you guys probably can speak to this, parents of kids that we've seen playing in youth soccer for the last 8 years, being sponsors of our show was really cool to see.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that with Dustin. For me, man, it was awesome to see. I've coached Jack, I've coached Asher, we had Jeff there, I've coached Drew, we had Brandon there, I coached Roe. Tyler Wells, Lanes. It was, for me personally, I've coached the parents that were there that had kids that play soccer, I've coached them, and it was just awesome to see they're supporting the community and like to know it's a community based. It was just awesome. Like Dustin said, the community involved, the positivity, and then Coach Avery. Are you kidding me? Like that was awesome. He gave his time. Look, Sean and I were picking his brain for as long as he would let us, and he was like, "Hey guys, I gotta go." But then he didn't go. Like he just stopped at every single table and gave his time. Like that was awesome. That was awesome. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, both those guys just put it so well. Not much I can add, but just like this, what you guys have created and what we get to join into is just like this little creative project that just has a small like special glow in the community, and just it seems to be growing, and the excitement was there, and I think again, Coach Avery brought the energy. Everyone got excited listening to Coach. I think everyone listening to him was ready to run through a brick wall, and we're going to be for the guys. So that was really cool just to see, and I think it's important, that kind of the coaches getting the community, like it coaches, communicating with parents, even on the youth side, is just like to build that connection, and you can really. That's what Coach talked about. When you have connection, you have confidence. So I just really appreciated that in his time, and really, really got me excited for the team and for this project that you've created, Brian. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it was a great night. It hit me later that night, and in a couple of conversations I've had since with people who watched that show that weren't there that night, that were just very embedded in the soccer community here in Fort Wayne, and really appreciative of what's happening with Fort Wayne Footy, and really supportive of what's happening. And it just hit me the weight of it, that this is a really historic moment in the city, right? With a new, not a new team, but professional team, a new stadium, a coach that's willing to give up his time to come talk to a couple guys that want to talk about soccer on a podcast at Two Tom's Brewery, right? And then doesn't leave, as you said, Anthony. Like he was there long after our event was over, just still sitting and talking with people, and really grateful for that. And if you missed it, like I said, the video is on YouTube, our live show. It's about an hour long. You'll see all the new stuff that we talked about. A couple things I do want to point out and highlight that you'll catch if you watch that show. Our brand obviously looks a little different. We went with colors that match the team colors, and it was important to me, and it was important to our show that on a professional level, that if we're supporting a professional team in our town, we want to look like we support that team. And so we chose colors initially that matched Fort Wayne FC's colors, and then they changed colors, and so we changed colors because not because we're copycats, but because we want to support what they are doing and support. We want our merch to you can wear our merch at their games too if you want to, and look like you're still supporting the team. And so, speaking of merch, we do have a new merch store, fortwaynefooty.com. It is a brand new website. It doesn't look like the old one that we had. It's a brand new website. fortwaynefooty.com/store. You can get all kinds of merch, hats, sweatshirts, some cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out as well. We'll put that link in the description of the show. And then one other thing I do want to mention, we are expanding our team here at Fort Wayne Footy, and you see two of them on tonight with Sean and Anthony. One of the things we did announce is a new show that we will start at some point this year. We're not doing it right now, not doing it next week, but a new show is in development so that we can continue to cover more soccer in the area. There's a lot of there's a lot of support at different levels of soccer. Some that don't follow Fort Wayne FC, but man, they jumped in to the youth development stuff and the high school series. And so we want to continue to cover and give each of these levels of soccer in our city to airtime, like some attention, some time to talk about it, and not just a little segment on a show. We want to give it its own thing. And so we've got a new show starting. And then we're looking for some writers. We've got some photographers coming on board. We're looking for a couple of writers who may be interested in helping cover soccer in the area from a different perspective, from a written perspective, things that we can post, articles we can post on our website. If you don't want to get on a podcast and talk about it, you're a good, gifted writer. There are still a lot of people that read a lot of good articles. And so we would love to have some writers join us here on the show. I see some smiles. We must have had some comments as I've been talking.
Sean got a shout out.
Let's get to some of those. Let's start with that one. Hi, Coach Sean. It's me, Giovanni. It's cool to see you in the podcast. So there you go, Sean.
Yo,
Fort Wayne famous. Fort Wayne famous.
Fort
Fort
Wayne
Wayne famous.
famous. Jason says the new website and the merch looks good. Thanks, man, for that. And then Dwayne says the metrics that you talked about with how your podcast rated across all sports podcasts was remarkable. Absolutely, man. It blew me away where this little show that we started to follow a USL2 team last year, where it ended up in the rankings at some point this last season. So I won't spoil that now. You have to go back and watch the show if you want to hear any of that. If you're interested in joining the team, supporting us, and what we do, hit us up at info@fortwaynefooty.com. Before we wrap up the show, I'm going to dig into the mailbag a little bit and then talk a little bit about the Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame. I want to get to that as we wrap up the show. But the mailbag, one of the questions, I just threw a question out there on social media today, on Instagram, Facebook. What questions do you have for us you'd like to see us address, or maybe the team address? And the first one comes, no surprise, where's Ari? Dustin, you want to take that one?
What are you trying to throw me out here for? Where is he? I don't know where he is now.
I thought he was in Fort Wayne. I don't know. This last time.
I don't know where he is right now.
Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, I don't have him on my GPS, so I'm not really 100% sure where he is. I know where he was in the last 24 hours, but I don't know where he is currently. I wish Raquel was on here so she could tell us. We'd love that.
She was on Wednesday night, I believe. She popped in the chat on Wednesday night. So
that's awesome.
That I just really had a tickle coming in my throat and I had to cough. So I had to throw
I was like, you're the one that's the sleuth. Don't try and throw me under the bus.
I love it.
The bus slams. Is the way in the chat.
I mean, it can't be that much of a sleuth thing, though, if you post and you tag where you are, right?
Right. And that did happen. And so, So
we're not like throwing anything out there that wasn't already on Instagram under somebody's name.
Correct. The other question we got from Adam says, will the stadium be complete by May 2nd? And I think that's a question that we obviously don't know the answer to, but we probably have the same questions here, right? Especially now with the winter that we've had and the snow that's falling right now, the sub-zero temperatures, I imagine, are keeping people from being outside long enough to work a full 8-hour day, potentially. And so that's a question that we all have. What's the backup plan if it's not? And maybe it still will be. Maybe those things go up faster. You get the steel up, and then the interiors are a lot faster. I don't know how this all works, but any speculation on that from you all without knowing that we don't have any insider knowledge?
I was like,
speculation on the May 2nd
I'll chime in. I'll chime in as a construction project manager. If they say it's going to be ready by May 2nd, I mean, it has to be ready. I mean, again. It will. It has to be. I mean, the weather definitely is not helping for sure. But with again, no insider information at all on this project. I'm telling you, construction wise, though, it will. They'll be playing May 2nd, I assume.
It's already scheduled. Already scheduled.
It has to happen, right?
Yeah.
And then the 7th, right? Then they got another game coming up right after, right? I mean, we're going away. First 6-7 games, and then we've got a slew of home games, right? So, I mean, it has to be ready,
Yeah.
I think this is where you throw out if there's any volunteers that are willing to clear the field for the next.
That's what they
gladly
do in Buffalo,
take it.
right? In
Yeah,
Buffalo,
yeah.
$25 an hour to shovel snow off of the.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just not a stadium that's done yet. Let's
Right.
shovel the snow so they can get the work.
So they can work. Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
I mean, really though, what do they need? We need a field, right? I mean,
Yep.
look, they got steel up. I mean, look, we just want to play there, you know? I mean, hey.
Yeah. Get the field in. We'll stand.
Yeah.
Standing room
There you
only.
go,
That's
there you go.
fine.
On the
You
steel
invest-
beams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, I would.
Everybody
I
got
would.
it.
Yeah.
No, long way to go for sure. And we anticipate, thanks for that information, Anthony, that if they say it's going to be done, it's got to be done. So let's just look forward to things happening really quickly here in the next couple months when the snow melts. So we did have a question earlier in the chat related to that. What's the cadence of games in USL? Here we go. What's the game cadence like in USL 1? Haven't studied the schedule. How important are reserves, say, versus MLS? That came up when we were talking our roster and our formation and all of that. And one of the things we did talk about in a few weeks ago was they do have a lot of Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday games. Part of that is because of the USL Cup that they play mid-season. And so there is a week where they're Saturday, Fort Wayne, Wednesday in Boise, Idaho, and Saturday back in Fort Wayne. And so there is, I do think, reserves, second players are going to come into play a lot when you come to that point in the season. It's not like playing 3 games in a weekend when you're 13 years old. This is professional level. The guys' bodies are getting torn up. They're getting beat up. They're traveling across country. And so I do think that's going to come into play a lot there, but not at the beginning, right? They're on the road constantly at the beginning and then hopefully back home for a while, except for that Boise game right in the middle of that. So, and then the other question we got in the mailbag today was, will there be an academy? Is Fort Wayne FC planning an academy? And I'll just say this, that I've heard rumors, nothing recently. I've heard rumors of an academy, what it would look like, even when they were playing in USL 2. Like, do we start an academy now? I wouldn't be surprised if they do start an academy. But again, I don't know that. But if we were to go there for a second, as we get close to the end of our show, we don't have a ton of time here. But if they were to start an academy, how would that change the landscape of soccer in Fort Wayne, potentially?
It would be the best thing ever.
Okay.
It would be the best thing ever. And look, I got a United guy right here, right? Like, look, we're here for Fort Wayne. We're here for Fort Wayne, okay? Like, it would be the best thing in the world. So if I could pressure Fort Wayne FC in any way, like, we need a youth. We need to play together in Fort Wayne. We need to. If we put our best players from Fort Wayne together, we are better than Indianapolis at the youth level, okay? I'm telling you, we compete. We can beat them. But the problem is we have too many studs that are split up between the two clubs. So, Sean, I'll defer to you now because I just gave my pitch, but it has to happen. It has to happen.
Well, I'd just say it'd be very exciting. Because and just not even like, the Fort Wayne area, when you're talking about an academy for a USL 1 team, I mean, you will probably have players who will travel to come play for that academy as well. So it definitely opens up some the landscape and, opportunities for some really high level players and a high level academy will be really cool. I'm not going to sit here and say it wouldn't be awesome, because it definitely would be. So
I don't think people understand the quality of players we have here in Fort Wayne. Like, I mean, again, I will just harp on that all day. Like, I mean, it's there, and to Sean's point, not just Fort Wayne. I mean, you got Goshen, Elkhart. I mean, we have players that drive from there that go down to Indy. Okay, hey, you just cut your travel in half, and it would be amazing. Obviously, focus is on the pro team, understandable, but down the road, to make a massive impact for generations, I mean, a youth academy would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of changes that would come with that for sure in this
Mhm.
area. There would be definitely some growing pains, I think, as you shift through that. And what do the clubs do? What does that look like? Where do some of the coaches go that have had teams for years and years? And what does all that look like? But I do think it would be a move in the right direction. But it has to be done right and it has to be done well. And so far, Fort Wayne FC shows that they want to do things well and want to do things the right way the first time. And so if that comes to be, I imagine it will be done very well and very professionally. But that's yet to be determined. All right, guys, as our extra time segment now, we're wrapping up our show, moving into extra time. There were some announcements out of the Indiana Soccer Hall of Fame about some folks in Fort Wayne that will soon be inducted there, starting with head coach Mike Avery that we've talked about a number of times on the show. So he joined our podcast at 2 times Wednesday night. Awesome interview there. And no surprise that he's in the Hall of Fame, not because of his generosity, but because of his coaching career and all that he's done. How cool is that? Before you even start your professional coaching career in USL 1, being inducted into the Soccer Hall of Fame here in the state. And then we had a team from PFW, the 1999 squad that included Matt Hine, that has been on our show, and Jeff Ritchie, goalkeeper coach extraordinaire here in Fort Wayne. Both players on that team already in the Hall of Fame individually, but now the 99 squad is going into the Indiana Hall of Fame. Thoughts, guys, on that?
I think it's
Congrats.
awesome. I mean, yeah, congrats. I mean, look, Coach Avery, I mean, looking at his, I mean, he coached at Valpo for 12 years. He has the most wins ever at Valpo, D1 program. Now leading Fort Wayne FC. I mean, that's definitely rightfully deserved. And then you got Matt Hine, I believe is the best coach in Indiana, personally. Like for when it comes to player development and youth development, that guy's got to go. I mean, yes. And Jeff Ritchie, I've heard nothing. I don't know, I have a personal relationship with him, but I've heard nothing but good things about what he does for the players and gives back to the game. So, I mean, the right people are getting put in the right places. And then the 99 PFW team, I was texting Brian on the side. There are a ton of Fort Wayne players on that team. A ton. From Lures, Woodland, Homestead, Carroll. I mean, when you go back and look at that roster, it's really cool to see what Fort Wayne did with that group. I mean, yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And correction, Todd is in the chat. Todd Gilpin's in the chat backstage, reminding us that is the PFW Hall of Fame that 99 squad got inducted into, not the Indiana State Soccer Hall of Fame. It's the PFW Hall of Fame. So thank you, Todd, for that correction. So, yeah, a lot of Fort Wayne guys. And I'll tell you this on a personal note. I played against most of those guys in the 96 season. So those guys that are seniors that year, I played against them when they were freshmen. When I was a freshman at University of Indianapolis, traveling up here. And I will say I did not like playing IPFW. I was not a fan of IPFW, but they had a lot of solid players, a lot of physical players, and a lot of good players on that team. Well-deserved. Congratulations. So, all right. Well, that wraps us up. That's full time here for this episode of Fort Wayne Footy. Thanks for joining us, Sean. Anthony, thanks for joining us tonight. Welcome to the squad. For Sean, for Anthony, for Dustin, I'm Brian, and we'll catch you next week.